Susan Show.
Hi, I'm Susan and welcome to the show. Ever wondered what saying goodbye in a healthy way might look like? Why can't we kiss each other farewell and ride off into the sunset without the pain of betrayal or the heartache of lost potential? Today we'll explore this topic and hear from some persons who have been in abusive relationships. And with us is counselor at Woman Inc., Angela.
Hi, Susan.
How are you?
Good.
This topic is one that is permeating our headlines. It's all over the media, it's all over Facebook, pictures and everything are there. How is Woman Inc. reacting to the impact of this?
Yes, there's been an upsurge in violence and then we have had some murders. So Woman Inc. has been on board and has come on. As soon as there is the need for more focus and attention, then yes, we're there. We don't work solely on our own. We work in tandem with other organizations. So we have been doing as much as we can to address the situation.
Woman Inc. has been around for a very long time.
34 years.
Wow.
So it's Woman Inc., the organization, 34 years. Then the Crisis Center,
right.
Then the Crisis Shelter for Battered Women. Woman Inc. is what we call the administrative arm, so they are involved with advocacy and stuff like that. The Crisis Center deals particularly with the counseling of the women, rape, incest, domestic violence, sexual harassment at the workplace, and also to oversee the crisis shelter.
Why can't some women or persons say goodbye when they end a relationship?
It is a lot of things, Susan. Primarily, I think it's a kind of investment that they've made in the relationship, whatever that is. Relationships can be complicated.
Yes.
They're never complicated at the beginning because, you know, everybody lovey-dovey and it, oh yes. But then when things are not settling in as they should, and it's not an automatic settling in, persons have to work at putting things how they want it. So they're building this relationship. And there are some key ingredients or characteristics for these relationship. We talk about trust.
Yes.
We talk about communication. You know, you talk about you love this person, but is there any such thing as love at first sight? I don't know. So you get together. Things are all nice and hunky-dory and yeah, you see yourself with this person for a while or maybe even long term. But what I think a lot of stuff that people omit from these relationships is looking at the basics that you need to bring this relationship to life.
Such as?
So we talk about trust, we talk about communication. There's also, for some persons who believe that once you're my girl, I'm your man sort of thing, you can't do this, you shouldn't do that. And so boundaries literally are now set. And nothing is wrong with setting boundaries in a relationship. It has to be understood by both.
Yes.
And boundaries don't mean you just draw a line and hey, you don't come over here and I don't go over there. It has to be done with respect.
Yes.
I have my space, you have your space. We met, this is how we were when we met. You're not expecting anything to change. You're not expecting the other person to change you or to mold you into what he or she wants you to be. It's a coming together of two persons, as they say, two become one, not necessarily in a marriage, but in a relationship that is going to move beyond the initial stages of courting and then, you know, getting into the nitty-gritty of things. But it has to be done in a way that is not dictating. When you ask persons, do you know what it is to communicate? Oh, yes, we talk. No. Communication is getting down. There are certain things that needs to be done or needs to be said. It has to be done in a manner that both parties understand. Building that relationship. And in the initial stages, if you don't lay your cards on the table, if you don't outline to the other person what it is you want moving forward, then that's kind of a recipe for disaster going forward.
But what makes a person so fixated on their partner?
Control and probably just being obsessed with the person. you know, whether it's his or her physical attributes or whatever it is maybe you know, just being fixated on that and not looking beyond.
And could this stem from something in the past?
Possibly.
Yes.
Could be persons getting involved on the rebound, or persons who have had a broken relationship who have not taken the time to heal and to address the situation or the matters that was in the previous relationship. So getting into a new relationship, you have what is called baggage. So they possibly take a little of that in, and then now, after a while, they start seeing a little bit of what was in the past partner, in the current partner. And so it's always important to get to know this person. Yeah, you don't do this, you can't go here, you do as I say. And, you know, all the other little things fall into that, where things that never mattered before initially now becomes a problem. It's now mattering, and it wasn't a problem. It just really wasn't an issue, but then all of a sudden it's an issue. And things like those would be like, you know, somebody who's really close with their family or has their own friends, and they were able to socialize and get together and all of that. And then all of a sudden, you know, not too long into the relationship, oh, you spend too much time with that person, or, you know, stuff like that. So they try to cut you off.
Yes.
Because in order to have control, then they need to eliminate the external forces.
Wow.
So basically, if you're not identifying, and it's quite visible, and people will say, I didn't see it coming.
But can you always tell?
You can't, it is there.
So
there is something that's going to tell you that this behavior is not normal.
Okay.
It's always something.
But you
It's a
choose
little
to
thing
ignore,
sometimes.
or
You think, maybe he loves me, or, you know, he cares for me, or he just wants the best for me, and stuff like that. It is not always like that. That sort of behavior is never really appropriate in a relationship,
yes,
whether long-term or short-term. So it's not something to just dismiss. You don't wave it away. It doesn't go away, because sooner, and sometimes it's sooner rather than later for a lot of persons, the worst surfaces, and then you feel trapped.
wow.
Next, one young woman tells us her story of domestic violence. We all have good and bad times in our relationships, but there are circumstances when things get out of our control and we just stand there, clueless, not sure whether to go through or away from it. When we are finally out of a dead-end relationship, we often wish we could have seen the signs.
Let's hear from one of the women who are here, Jodian Reed. We're not able to show her face for her personal reasons, but we will be able to hear her voice and hear her story. First of all, we'd like to say we appreciate you being here, and we know it can be a very difficult thing to share such experiences. So we appreciate that you're doing this for us. So how did the abuse start in your relationship?
We've been together for about 3 years, and I got pregnant very early in the relationship, but I was working at the time. The first abuse was when I was pregnant, about 8 months. Because to me say I'm a baby father, I forgive him, and we moved on, and he promised me that it won't happen again.
What kind of abuse was it? Physical, verbal?
Both physical and verbal.
Okay.
He apologized, I accept, and we moved on.
But Jodian, before this first episode, did you see any signs?
No,
None at all?
none at all.
Everything was hunky-dory, you were in love, you were pregnant, and
Before I got pregnant, he was very nice.
Prince
As what my
Charming.
grandmother say, see me and come live with me are two different things.
Wow.
Because before I got pregnant with him, you were like the power couple.
Wow.
Take me places, carry me to work, lunch money and such and such. You know, go work and say, what Jody? Boyfriend nice, do and whatever. I got pregnant, and from I got pregnant, 8 months pregnant, that's when it started.
So you said you forgave him and he said he wouldn't do it again. And then what happened?
Then, after having my daughter, she's 2 now. After having her now, you know, being home and such, when I start going out back to work because I was on maternity leave. Going back to work now, so girls that look good now and a little baby, figure gone, so you get back sexy and yeah. So after going back to work now, I realized that when I want to go out with my coworkers, it was always a problem. Like if I don't tell him like the day before or if I don't invite him out, I can't go. So that's where it started to become controlling. I have a son before my daughter. So I always saying that he doesn't have a father. I don't want her to grow like how my son grew without a father. So when he does his actions verbally, I've always been forgiving him. Until one day now, my son start go around him. Like, it would keep him sometime at daytime and I'm not home. And then he would say that, Mommy, anytime I come to the room, he always run me out. Some say, what do you mean you come to the room, always run you out? Him say, him don't want me in the room, don't want to play with my sister. So I say, all right then, I'm going to talk to him about it. I see him and I say, why you don't want my son in the room? Or why you don't want him to play with his sister? He must say him run too rough and... But I said, is she crying? He said no. Then certain actions that I realized that him not like my son. After I found out that he don't like my son, that's when I really decided it have to done. Because you can't love the mother and love the calf. Tell him about it and him decide to yeah, he might go change. It never stop. It not change none time. Him behavior towards my son, it not change. In May 2016, that's when things really start to get out of hand. His respect for my kids and my family, out of line. Him not have no respect, no behavior, no. No look at nothing to say, all right, then family gonna accept him or whatever. As I said, I got pregnant early in the relationship. So him not get no and meet and greet with my family. I don't meet and greet his family after having my daughter. So when I realized that he's not gravitating to my family, especially my son, that's when I really started all right, this can't go no further because you don't like my son.
Right.
And I always ask him, why you don't like my son? He was like, it's not that I don't like him, him just too dry eye. And then I can remember one night after leaving work, I was going to a party. I let him know that I'm going by my friend's house to do my makeup. When I reach at my friend's house, I let him know that I reached. I let him talk to my friend because him not trust me. Insecure, bad. Anyway, call him and let him know that I'm at my friend. After leaving my friend, I called him and said, you can come and meet me? He said, oh, carry down then. Find your way yard. Anyways, reach home now. When we reach home, him start screw up him face. Some say, what the problem? He was like, where you come from? I said, I'm not just call you and tell you, say, I'm going to do my makeup to go out. But because I didn't invite him out, I tell him that yeah, I'm carrying it with me. That was where the problem is, because I didn't invite him. When I reach in the house now, him give me one box. So when he give me the first box, I know it's in a party. Nah, but I go. So I'm tear off the eyelash them now and wipe the makeup off. And that's when it started. He beat me in front of my two kids. And even when they were there screaming and crying out, you tell them, shut up, shut up. I'm in my house. I'm in here. And then I packed my stuff and decided I'm not staying here no more. This is where it ends. I packed my stuff and I hide them in his sister's room the other day. And he went out on the road to come back, but while I was there, I was sitting with my two kids and I was thinking, should I go or should I stay? Should I go or should I stay and wait till him come back? I said, no, you're an idiot. Take your things and go on. But because there were too much stuff, I had left them carry my kids home, and then get a driver to come pick up the stuff. He realized that I am gone and he's begging me to come back, and I decide, so I'm not coming back, it's over, it's done. We were like on and off.
So you're living in separate locations, but you're
Right.
still seeing him.
Yeah,
And you had your 2 children.
with me.
You allowed
yes.
him to see his child, though?
Yes.
Okay.
We were having our ups and downs. You were begging me not to go. And I decided, it can't work. And every time he promised me that he's not going to hit me, he does.
So even in the visiting relationship, he hit you?
He hit me and always saying sorry, and I always forgive him. I don't know why.
When we come back, we hear more from domestic abuse victim Jodian Reed. Relationship violence is a pattern of behavior that is used to establish power and control over another person through fear and intimidation. Jodian Reed continues her story.
In August, I was working at a clothes store and I left the job because I was tired of working there. From Saturday to Saturday, I was like 3 years from there, no day off, no nothing.
Wow.
I don't have no time for my kids. No bonding was there, so I left. And then I got a next job in September where I was a waitress. And when I got the call that I got the job, I was beside him. And he said to me that, you hype now, till you get the work. Some say that's supposed to mean, how you met me? You met me working, right? And he was like, you get hype now. Some say, no, say, for my bill for they know you're bad mind. You're bad mind, but because you're right beside me and I got the job.
Which is
And
great news.
Exactly. It was like, you get the job now, you're hype. I didn't pay me any mind. That was in September. And that's when everything get really, 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 really bad now. He started trailing me to work now. When I left him, I was feared of him. So I put on inside lock on my doors. So when he come, I would put out his daughter and let him see her. And then when him done talk to her, put her back inside.
So the relationship was cut off now.
Cut off.
He was only allowed to see his child.
Right. He started trailing me to work now. And you know the funniest thing throughout all this, I never reported it. Never.
Why didn't you?
Man, I really not have I don't know of answer it.
Just felt you could handle it.
Right. I got the work. I got a new job. Forget about all the abuse and trying to move on because you done so much, so me I try and move on now. Forget about you. Cut off my ear. A different me now. So anyways, start trailing me to work now. Come to my workplace with my picture in his phone, asking the security guard if, you see this girl? She come work. What time she come work? What time she leave work? Who come pick her up? And them stuff. They had warned me that a young man had came to the workplace asking for me, and they said to me that I'm supposed to warn him off because if he come back there, I could lose my job.
Oh.
I spoke to him about it, told him not to come back to my workplace, asking for me. It's like me wanted or something. It's a casino, and you know, people money I deal with. He's still trailing me and such forth. I wait for me outside in a car. That's what neighbors told me, that they saw him couple night well outside the road in car.
So how did you feel about all of this?
They were telling me that, Jodian, if you be careful, you know, and report it. I was like, Joe, him not doing nothing, my idiot. Him not doing nothing. It never stopped. He kept trailing me, and
And how long was that going on for? Since you got the new job, how long was it going for?
a month and odd.
Yes.
Yeah, it was going on for.
So did you speak to him about it?
No, I haven't. Because I blocked him, delete his number, and everything. So there was no communication. At a point, him did stop, come visit his daughter. He had reached a point where one day I was at work and he gained access inside my house. Don't know how, but he gained access. He had, through acid, burned all my belongings with acid.
Clothes, documents,
Clothes.
shoes.
Clothes.
Okay.
And I asked him about it, and he was like, it's not me, it's not me. I turned to him and said, you're the only person that had a key for my house. But he didn't walk through the front door. He had to walk through my grandma's house, and there was a side door that didn't have on any lock. So he walked through there and did his action and then leave. I asked him about it. Him take God off a cross and him says to me, I have had enough of you now. Leave me alone. Him say, all right then. Me go buy back your stuff them give you.
So he admitted to the
yes,
crime.
he had.
So you still didn't go to the police station?
No, I still didn't. Because I got the job, I was thinking about the work.
Yeah.
Wasn't paying him any mind.
Mm-hmm. But the key, you
because
still
I
had
put
a
on
key?
the inside lock.
Uh-huh. Oh, so you couldn't get inside?
No, but he admitted about throwing the acid on my clothes. Willing to buy them back. I told him, no, you burn me out now, me gonna start over. This when I plead and I cried to him, I said, leave me alone. Just leave me alone, go on with your life. You say I got foreign, go on a foreign and leave me alone. Before him leave him say, you know what I do? Cause you pick them, I go suffer. I'm sorry then, we are going to suffer. Leave him, I go suffer, just leave me alone. About 3 days passes now. I don't get any phone call or text from him or whatever. He had seen me at a party and he was there watching me, but I pretend like I didn't see him because where I was standing, a policeman was there, so I felt safe. After the party, he had sent his friend to come and see who was taking me home. So the friend come to me and asked me, say, yeah, all right. I say, yeah, man. The Thursday, he and the same friend was going to a party. And the friend of him invited me out asking me if I would come. I told him I am going there, but I'm going there with my friend. Then after he called me and said, may I take you out? You want to come? I said, no, I'm not coming nowhere with you because my friend I go out already. He come at the Friday again, inviting me out to our next party. I told him, no, I'm not coming with you. The Saturday morning, no, I had morning shift. So I called him. He didn't answer. I messaged him saying that he must come get his child because I'm going to work and his morning shift I get. Anyways, I found myself at his house, where he live, and dropped off our daughter at the aunt and told her that I am leaving work at that time. I will come and pick her up. Well, I didn't. Work finished around 8 in the night. My shift started 10 in the morning and finished 8 in the night. After my shift has finished and going home, get my taxi. When I get my taxi now and leaving the taxi, all my stuff that I had in my hand fell to the ground. So I said, no man, this is something, I don't know. Then after that, I just felt like someone watching me. I called a friend of mine and saying that, you can come for me? And he said to me that, this moment there right now, I can't leave. So I said, all right then. May I go on my friend, Ron Robin, you can carry me then? He said, what time? I said, around 10 in the night. Then I called mommy, I said, mommy, you can't come meet me? She said, Joe, I'm not leave work yet, no. So I said, all right then, hope I'm going to work out this. Anyways, I continue walking my distance, going home. I reach home, take off my clothes, saying I'm going to have a bath because I'm going out. Went in the bathroom, no tissue. I had a shop inside the yard. I said, mommy, when you finish serving the customer, can you carry a tissue for me, please? I went back inside my room, on my phone, texting my friend of where the party keeping. She's going to pick me up. Certain things can't be said because it's going court now. So after I get the second chance to go outside, this is when the attack happened in the yard.
Next, Jodian tells us about the night she got scarred for life. Jodian Reed has been through a rough time in her relationship. However, when she decided to finally end it, she got the surprise of her life.
That night, no, he had done his job. My son was there at the time, and my son was the one who went out to get a cab for me because when my mom was there screaming and asking for help, no one came to rescue. And my son went to by my neighbor and told him what's happened to his mommy. He had picked me up and carried me to KPH. And then when I reached by KPH, they sent me in the bathroom to rings off for about half an hour, 45 minutes. And then they went and checked for him. Because when I reached at the hospital and rinsing off, I said to Mommy, leave me alone, I'm good here. Go and check the airport. Because he had threatened me that when I have no left until death do us apart. And I just take that out of my mind of us leaving. And in the day him strike me, all I face the way I cherish, me I gonna mess it up. But honestly, I never did think him have the art
To go to that extreme.
I wasn't thinking, as much as he has done so much of my stuff, I wasn't thinking that would have really bodily harm me that way.
So what were your injuries? What did the hospital say?
Well, I received third-degree burn to my face, my chest, my arm, and I received a grade 4 burn to my eyes. I was literally blind. Can't see a thing. And then I was admitted for 2 weeks by KPH. The extent of the burn, they told me that I'm not have a come back because of the burn to the eye. While I'm at KPH, the only thing them ever possibly do to me was like give me medication and like take me to the clinic to see how the eye is doing. But day by day, the eyes are not doing well, getting worse and worse and worse.
When did the incident happen?
November of last year.
Since then, your life has changed.
Yeah.
How would you say? What's your relationship like with your children now, seeing their mom this way?
When the incident had happened, my daughter, she was by his family, and my son was by me. I get transferred from KPH to the university hospital to undergo surgery on my eyes. When I was at university, the surgeon, they had come to me and speak to me about the surgery and how it's going to take place. They had explained to me that in order for me to see again, they had to get embryo from overseas to put on my eyes so that I could see. He told me that he had to order it for it to come in the island. He said it's going to take about 2 days before it can reach. And the Friday, I did the surgery on my eyes. And my head was wrapped. I couldn't tell day from night, so I was literally blind during that 4 day that they had wrapped and sewed my lids together. During the burn, I didn't have any eyelids. They were... My eyelids, they were burnt out, so... I didn't have any bottom eyelids or top, so my eyes were actually opened. And my nose, it was to my lip. They were attached together. So the sight that you see now was totally different. I was a different person. I bet if him did shoot me, knowing that I'm not dead, than doing this to me. Because what he has done to me has changed my identity to something different. And throughout all of this, when I was in hospital, I didn't cry or nothing. I hold my composure, I hold it because I said I have to live for my 2 kids them. So I hold it. And after being in hospital for about 1 month and couple weeks, when I was about to do my second surgery on my chest, because they had taken skin graft from my leg to put on my chest here and my arm. And it was my birthday the day before the surgery. And I have asked the nurses and the doctor if I could see my kids before I went in the second surgery. When they gave me the go-ahead, and they came there. When my kids saw me, they were like in shock. Because from the incident, Them never
seen
seen him.
you.
So after them, they come there and they saw me. They stand there with a shock. And they were like back in a way. So even I said, Ma, I said, come here. And none of the two, no one come near me. My son literally run. I was like saying to myself then I saw my badly burned. That's my kids, them not recognize me. And then I was there talking to my daughter. She started hearing my voice and start realizing that it's mommy. But my son, him not come nowhere near me. And when my daughter come to me and she said, Mommy, your face cut. The whole entire friends and family, staff, break down because of what
She said.
she said. And we all break down.
Your son, on the night of the incident, he said he was in the yard. Did he actually witness
No.
the act? Okay.
He didn't. And after she said, Mommy, your face cut, and she started to point out where I get all the cuts. And she said, Mommy, Daddy cut you? I paused. I'm tell myself, say, yo, I'm not gonna lie to her. I said, yes, baby, Daddy cut me. And she turned to me and she said, Hush here, Mommy? Hush. And then, after she said, Hush here, Mommy, hush. Daddy cut you, him rude. It just surprising for know at 2-year-old she's 2. That she can, be so.
Understand, yes.
But my son, it has taken a toll on him. After they had released me from hospital and I went home, my son, him still never come around me. It took him about 2 weeks before we start to communicate. Even when I call him, he would never come. He kept saying that is not my mommy. Mommy have on a mask.
He still has the image of his mommy.
He said, Mommy has on a mask. When Mommy take off the mask, then we go to her.
Next, Jodian tells us how the incident that left her scarred for life has affected her children, especially her son. The violent act that was done to Jodian by her partner has changed her physical features for life. She now tells us how this has affected her son.
I cry day in, day out, because I say, nobody not deserve this. If I decide that I want to leave, not deserve it, not even my enemy, I wish this upon. And then being at home, and you start realize that I am at home. When I call him, he would come at the window and said, yes, Mommy, but him not looking at the house, He say, yes, Mommy, what you want? And I would say, tell so-and-so I call her, because I have to be living on eye drops that I have to take every 2 hours. Because the burn that I got in my eyes,
You had no moisture.
yeah, so my eyes will always be dried. I can't see far. So even though you're there, I only can tell that you're in a burgundy top, but your features, I can't see it.
This is only a few months ago.
Yes.
But here you are, relating to us, telling us with such strength. I don't understand that strength. And I really wish to commend you. So do you have any more visits, hospital visits, any more surgeries?
Yes, I do. I did my last surgery on March the 25th,
Right.
where they have put eyelids. As they can see, I have eyelids now. And they have moved the nose, they were attached together to my lip.
They've separated
They
them.
have separated it. And I've been going I got released from hospital. I have to follow up on my eyes to see how the scar is doing. Because without the embryo, I would have been blind. So I have to be follow-up visit to see how it's doing, if it's healed. But right now, it's not healed. And the skin graft and the surgery they did on my shoulder and chest, they have to be looking to see how the graft is doing
Right.
there. So I
So
still
you still have
follow-up.
some more reconstructive.
And They told me that they're going to arrest because I've gotten so much cuts. They said they're going to give me a break now until next year for them to continue on the surgery. The surgeon had told me that he's doing the best that he's doing right now. Only God alone can bring me back.
Thank you so much. This counselor is one of the worst cases I've heard. She came to you?
She came to me. Actually, I tell you, I got a call one day from a really passionate and emotional police officer who referred her to us. I mean, I can't describe to you how he sounded. He said to me, I know her and I know her well and I know she can do with some professional help. Can you help her? I said, well, tell me a little bit about what's happening with her. And he went a little into it and, and stuff. He says, can I give you her number for you to give her a call? I said, sure. One of the things he said to me that really made me realize that, and I questioned myself, what are these men thinking when a relationship ends? You don't own this person. What could have gotten into him to do what he did? But then I didn't see her yet. I called her. I told her the gentleman called and if it was okay, if she wanted to come and talk to me. And she said, yes. I said, are you comfortable going out in public as you are? She said, yes, I am. It was a day or two later she came. I was taken aback because here is a really young girl, 2 kids, her whole life ahead of her, and all of that, as she aptly described, that, it has just changed her totally, yes. Her before pics, I think she has them, to her after, to her now, really was like a ton of bricks on me, I have to tell you. Just looking, she's just one pretty girl, flawless skin, nice figure, everything. I can understand jealous and rage,
yes,
to an extent.
Yes.
But to do that, no,
but
still
he had
can't.
threatened
He had
to destroy her most important features. He thought.
As she said, which was what she said to me, she didn't think he had the gall to really go through. She said even with him pouring the substance on her clothing, she still didn't think he was capable of doing anything beyond that, that he was trying to intimidate her into coming back, and she really stood her ground. Wow. So he couldn't deal with that because she's now a new person, her new
independent
journey.
Of him.
Exactly, because as she said, he met her working. Now working became a problem because, as I said, she was a pretty girl. She went back, she said
job,
it.
should be exposed to different persons now.
She said body got sexy and everything again, so he couldn't deal with that. So what he did was to do the thing he thought was best, was to take that away from her.
Yes.
So to date, yes. Other than bruises and swellings, my worst too.
She's on her way.
But she's on her way.
To recovery.
She really is on her way.
Before we go to the next case, I want to talk to the policeman here. Could you identify yourselves, please, sir?
I'm Corporal Moses Thompson.
And?
I'm Corporal Kenny Brown.
All right. I'd like you to tell me what you thought of this case.
Personally, I sat and I listened, and I was moved with compassion. These are some real-life situations that are happening out there that, as she stated, was never reported to the police. And there are several others out there that has never come to the attention of the police. You'll hear from time to time, persons would say, if he doesn't beat me, then he doesn't love me. And they would never report the matter to the police. And even if they do, they would come and they'd say, all I want you to do is to talk to him. I don't want him to be arrested. And so I'm happy that persons see and hear that it's not a story that we're making up, but it's a real life situation, something that is real and that is happening out there, the abuse of our women and children, and even in front of the very young lads, the very young children.
The children, yes.
It's happening right there in the home.
But you heard the effect on the children.
Very much so.
Her older child
Did
not want to have anything to do with her for the first
to
couple of
accept
weeks.
her.
And sir, for you, what would the police have done in this case?
The police officers would be compelled to look into the matter. They have to pay a visit and have a talk with him. There are some court orders that could have been issued to protect her against him. So if she had come to us, then we could have done something, at least, to try to prevent this from happening. But I want to say something, that this kind of thing happens in all spheres, not only the not so well-to-do persons. We have this happening with the well-to-do persons as well. And persons are just not talking. They're suffering in silence. What I would say to anyone watching this show now and listening to my voice, if you are in any way faced with a situation like this, call the police. Let us take care of it so that you may be spared, because you don't know what is in the mind of the other person. Mm-hmm. So call the police. We have partners who we work with, and Women Inc. is one such person. Victim support, the Bureau of Gender Affairs. We have many organizations that we partner with to help our citizens to deal with these type of situations.
Jodi's situation, she's strong, she's confident, she's beautiful, and she just thought she could handle this situation. And as you said, you don't know what the other person is capable of doing.
Just don't
She just didn't think he would do something like that.
And many persons pay the ultimate price for thinking something like that.
It is possible to leave an abusive relationship and create a new life. Tell yourself each day how valuable you are. You are worth more than the relationships you've been in. Be strong. You can do it.
Join us next week to hear the compelling story of another victim of domestic abuse.
Remember to keep doing good in your neighborhood.